We have one question left. We've actually got through them all. It's amazing. So this final question is from Natalie Forrest, and she says, quite simply, all things island sea. How do we really deep dive into this?
Okay, so first of all, island C, for those who don't know, island A is what are the symptoms they have. Island B is what's the result they're craving. And island C is that there's some result that you can offer people that they don't even know is possible. So the example I often give, island A is they got a messy lawn. Island B is they got a really neat, tidy lawn. It looks beautiful. Island C is they have a food forest. Yeah, permacultured, all that. So they're not craving a food forest until they've heard about that possibility. They don't even know that's a thing. You know, they're having troubles in their marriage. Then they work things out with their partner. But island C might be like polyamory or an open marriage or divorce if they've not really considered, or conscious uncoupling or a conscious divorcing. Because they don't even know that's an option to do. Well, we either have a brutal divorce or we stay married and it's unsatisfying. You say, well, you know, there's this conscious uncoupling. Or what about co-parenting? They've never thought about that. So there may be something that you offer that once people hear it, they say, wow, that's amazing. I've never even thought about that. Tell me more. So if you have that, and so that is in my ebook, The Art of Relevance. There's a whole little section on island C and my thoughts about what to do about it. But fundamentally, if you've got some new idea, you just have to get in front of your people. And that's probably, well, there's two ways to go about that. One is you think, what's the problem that people are struggling with? And, you know, what's the island A and B? And you find those people and you say, hey, I've got this thing that'd be helpful. But also could be by the sort of psychographics. You might just say, I know the type of people I want to work with. And a good question to ask is, okay, who would be interested in Island C? What types of people would be interested in Island C? This thing that I'm offering that when they know about, they hear about it, what types of people are those? And the same with the product. You know, if you've got some unique style of pottery, like, okay, who would be interested in this? With Van Gogh, with his paintings, you know? Well, you know, people in the areas he was in didn't really like his art, it seemed. But maybe there would have been somewhere else in the world where they would have. And so this is not always an easy question, but you can ask around. Say, I've got this thing. Can you think of who'd be interested? What types of people? What communities? What scenes? What neighborhoods? What countries? What it's the old joke. I'm big in Japan. You know. I've had friends who they do okay here in Canada, but they go to Germany and they're low level famous in Germany. So sometimes it really is you're never a prophet in your own country. Sometimes you got to go somewhere else where they're into that kind of music or that kind of scene. Finding our people, it's not easy, but that is so much of the focus. And so sometimes we start with the people and we think, what do I want to offer them? That's the entrepreneurial approach. And the other is this artist approach where we start with what we have and then we think, who would be interested in this? And that is the dynamic with Island C, because you can't put out a headline saying, hey, want a food forest? If they've never heard of a food forest. Yeah, we have to first find the kind of people who would probably be into this. And then where do they hang out? Are there expos they have? Are there gatherings, trade shows? Are there conferences? Are there newsletters, hashtags, etc.? And we just do our best to get the idea in front of people. And of course, in terms of hubs, it's not just stages, but there may be certain people who are influencers, who are connectors. They write articles for a magazine that would reach your people and they could feature you. They have a podcast and they could get you in front of their people. They they run events you could speak at. They could email their list about you. They just have a popular Instagram page and they could share you up. You could do an Instagram live with them, etc., etc., etc. So those are some thoughts on what can be done with Island C off the top of my head.
Wow, there was so much in there. I hope that was helpful, Natalie. That was just the ideas coming thick and fast, Ted. Amazing.